My most memorable moment here working at SLS was when we were preparing to open the doors for the public and actually getting the chance to tour the property. And I remember walking through the doors and realizing how beautiful this place really was. And I was excited to work here. I was opening my first hotel and I was just so overwhelmed, but at the same time, very, very excited. So when orientation day came around, I remember coming into the doors and I took a deep breath and everybody was just standing in a line, managers and directors, and as we made our way to the orientation room, it felt like a maze. It was so amazing at the same time. It was happening so fast and I couldn't believe what was going on. But once I made it into where we were having orientation, everything felt so put together. It felt so unreal, so many new faces, so much positive energy. It was just a really, really great time and everybody was super, super excited. And that's my most memorable moment working here for SLS. My most comical moment working for SLS is when I had bought a cake and I decided to do the company colors. So I had got the logo and everything, and I called Smith's up and I get the cake made at the last moment. That morning I had to be at work at 10, so I was running around from like 6 a.m. to about 8 to get the cake ready, and I had run the cake in and the cake was all black. It had black frosting, it had the SLS, it was white and black. It was a beautiful cake. Everybody was super, like very, very excited for this cake. And it was the most beautiful cake, and I set it on the desk. And as our day progresses, everybody was taking bites and chunks out of the cake, and no one realized that their mouth was black. So every time people came into the building and talked to us, they were looking at us crazy. We were all trying to figure out why is people looking at us weird. And then I had an employee named Vicky. She's like, "Oh, do you know our mouth is black?" And we just fell out laughing because we didn't know what everybody was looking at. So as we was processing, I remember a guy sitting down and looking at me. He's like, "Do you know your mouth is black?" And I didn't know how to take it. I just looked at him and I was like, "Oh my goodness." That was the most funniest part of our work experience, bringing that cake in there, and that was the most bad choice of me, making sure they had black frosting. So that was my most comical moment in the HR office, is making everybody mouth black. Okay, this might sound crazy, but the most outrageous moment I had at SLS is actually speaking to our owner, Sam Nazarian. I actually ended up running into him, and he was talking to me and a group of people at one time, and asked us how we like it and everything. And only thing I can do is look stunned because I was trying to figure out who this guy was. He looked familiar to me, and it took me about 8 seconds to figure out who he was, and then boom, it dinged. It's Sam Nazarian. How outrageous is that? How did I not know who he was? I've seen him everywhere. Pretty outrageous.